Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ashley Brianna Eve, and we are talking about some issues, if you will, on the set of Deadpool 2. This is a topic that I've been asked about a lot, and I've been meaning to get to this. And here we are. I had these slides ready, I'd say, oh my goodness, 2.5 weeks ago. But we're going to look at Joi Harris and the motorcycle accident that happened on the set of Deadpool 2, as well as Morena Baccarin and some issues that she had on the set as well in terms of a underwater stunt, which is just wild. So we are going to dive right into this. We're going to start right off the bat with Joi S.J. Harris. So from what I can find, her nickname was S.J. She was a woman, and now we're going to start kind of at the beginning. She was a woman that passed away on the set of Deadpool 2 when it was filming in Vancouver. Now, I know a lot of people didn't hear much about this. In Canada, we actually did. Look, I even have my Canada hat so that Glamour magazine can get it right because I'm, apparently in an article that's right-wing American content creators with kids. I don't know. So there we go. We got that. And but in Canada, we did actually hear a good amount about this, and it did just disappear from the news one day. Now, this statement from the Vancouver police came out. She was not named originally. We're going to look at hello. It's so nice to see you guys. Welcome. Sorry if I was laughing with my husband before I came on because I changed some settings in StreamYard. And I was like, it might sound like I'm screaming at everyone, but here we are. For those that have been here all year, I mean, in the beginning, I didn't even have YouTube Premium. We were getting hit with ads in the middle of streaming. So, learning as we go. But Vancouver police originally did not release her name. We're going to go through the timeline of the original news, what happened on the set, as well as the settlement with her family. But they said Vancouver police, a stunt driver has died on the set of Deadpool during a stunt on a motorcycle. Vancouver Police Department, VPD, and WorkSafe BC investigators are at the scene. And this is the image that really, now let me know for everyone, well, internationally and in the US, did you guys hear about this? Was this something that hit the news for you? Let me know because I would love to hear. Because this image ran across, this is 2017, August 14th, 2017. That ran across Canada. We were seeing that everywhere. But they didn't release her name at first. All they had said was a stunt double had passed away on the set. It was in Vancouver, British Columbia. That is like far away from where I am. I'm in Ontario. While attempting a stunt on a motorcycle, the Vancouver Police Department said in a statement, the police did not release the name of the woman who had passed away or any further details about the accident originally. The department confirmed that it was investigating the scene along with WorkSafe BC, the Workers' Compensation Board of BC, and the province's coroner's service. So it was really tight-lipped. And we're going to also look at some statements in regards to Deadpool because this isn't directly, well, we're going to see who had control over decisions on the set of Deadpool. We're going to look at that as we go. But as we already know, if you've been watching my exposés, the original director of Deadpool had basically said he wasn't allowed to have a voice on the set, and that's why he left. Hello, guys. It's so nice to see you guys. Not in the news that you saw. Yeah, interesting. Never heard of it. So interesting. And it disappeared. Like we heard about it a little bit in Canada, but then it disappeared pretty quick, which we'll also get to. So they did not say much more at that point. And I have some articles pulled up, so we'll go through that as well. These were some of the headlines that we were seeing. So Deadpool 2 fined nearly, and it really bugs me, the wording. I'm going to be honest. That wording bothers me. Nearly 300,000. To me, that makes it seem like it's a lot, but there was a loss of life on set. 300,000 for it being proven that there were violations on safety. And wait till you hear, for those that know everything with It Ends With Us, how was it the composer was fired near the end with like days to get everything done? Wait till you hear about this. So there's going to be these little things that just show up over time. And how I always say, it makes you go, like, is that a coincidence? There's so many coincidences that add up. But she was brought in. She didn't have much training. But they said nearly 300,000, as if that's a lot of money. I didn't hear about it in Denmark. Interesting. Hello, Mel. I heard nothing about it, but didn't keep up with the Reynolds at the time. Hello, hello. It's so nice to see you guys. Thank you for joining me today. An impromptu live. I know I gave you guys like 5 minutes notice. I'm sorry. Deadpool 2 stunt death caused by inadequate workplace setup. So it was proven that it was in an inadequate workplace setup, and $300,000 was the fine. To me, that's nothing, especially for what this movie's worth. That's a slap on the wrist. A report from the BC Coroner Service released Wednesday concluded Harris died of blunt force traumatic head injuries after being ejected from the bike. Harris was not wearing a helmet at the time of the crash, which the report deems a contributing factor to her death. Now, the reason being, what we're hearing afterwards, is they want her hair to look like the hair of the main character. I can't remember the main character, like the actual character's name in the movie. But anyway, wanted her hair to look the same. And, you couldn't put a helmet on her hair because then that wouldn't work. So that is why she wasn't wearing a helmet, for aesthetics. During this, they completed their own investigation into the fatality. They had this $300,000 fine against the film company. And that was it for multiple high-risk violations of safety standards. Multiple high-risk safety standards. And they're just like, 300,000. That's about the same amount Russ was fined for Elena Hutchins' death. Really? I didn't follow that case all the way through. I picked little pieces of it up as it went, but that is wild. I live in the US, not a mom, not right wing. Team Justin, welcome to the team. I heard about this recently, but not from the news, from Melanie King without a crystal ball. Interesting. That's like less than the cost of Blake Lively's crystal boots. Yeah, good point. Good point. Absolutely. Hello, Kelly. Welcome to your first live. We kind of just hang out on the lives. Usually they're a little bit more chill, but I have slides for this one today, so we're going to be professional as well. Just watching your Glamour Magazine article video and noticed you were live. You can go back to that one after. Welcome. Everyone's really sweet here. Just hang out in the chat with everyone while I talk. It's a good group. I am very honored to have such a wonderful community. So we're seeing multiple high-risk violations of safety, $300,000. Now, there's evidence suggesting that Joi Harris, who was a stunt woman, she lacked prior experience with high-power motorcycles and stunt performing. What I can find from this says that they were aware. It's not a situation where she hadn't said, or she wasn't, she was just saying like, oh yeah, I've done that before, wink, wink. No, from everything I can find, she was honest about her experience, and she didn't have experience with this type of motorcycle, which I feel having a woman or anyone using a motorcycle, I don't drive motorcycles, ride motorcycles, drive motorcycles. I don't know what's the problem. I don't even know. But I have never been on one. But I imagine having a couple days to prepare, getting on a motorcycle that you're not equipped for with no helmet. I don't know. That seems unnecessarily dangerous to me. Harris was a pioneering motorcycle road racer and the first African-American woman licensed for professional road racing. Like, she is a badass through and through. Like, the woman was a badass. And it's just, there were a couple other set accidents, not from Deadpool 2. Well, we're going to get into another one for potential with Morena Baccarin. But, it's just so sad where it was truly just negligence. Over and over and over again on the set of Deadpool 2 that led to this. So she did have that experience. She was very experienced. However, her background was primarily in racing lightweight motorcycles. Does anyone know what that means in terms of motorcycles? And Deadpool 2 marked her first involvement in stunt work. So she was new to the field as well. UK heard about her death, no names. The narrative was that she had overplayed her qualifications and the company wasn't to blame, which is interesting. That's the narrative that happened because the company was to blame. Interesting. Imagine going to work and dying because your job's negligence and then your job tries to blame you. Yeah, 300K is the value of someone's life. It's so tragic. And again, in Canada, we heard about it, but then it just just disappeared one day. You just did not hear about it again, which we'll get to that in a moment as well. So investigations revealed that Harris had joined the production just days before the incident. Days before, and had limited time to rehearse the stunt. Now, again, what we're going to see is the original, I think it was the director, but I have a slide talking about it. The original director, I believe, is the one that backed off. It was like, whatever, Ryan, take over. Because he said, if you can't have decisions on set, some directors can work like that. I can't. And so he left the movie. So while, there's no name attached to any of this, it's just really interesting to me how we already had people speaking out about how Ryan was always the one making decisions. Was it him? I don't know. Did he have the final say? I don't know. It's just really interesting. Despite her racing credentials, she lacked stunt-specific experience, raising concerns about her preparedness for the task. And the production company TCF Vancouver Productions Ltd was fined nearly $300,000 by WorkSafe BC. Now, again, that's multiple safety violations. Multiple. I actually want to pull up this article. I'm going to pull this article up. But her family did reach an out-of-court settlement with 20th Century Fox. The specific terms were never disclosed, but I'm going to pull up the actual article. I believe I have it here. Smaller horsepower, lighter weight. Okay, thank you for sharing that because I have no idea. All right, let's pull up. This article. I work with no-fault insurance, which is related to injuries from vehicles and motorcycles. Interesting. I tell you, I never ride a motorcycle. I wouldn't either. Although I was uninsurable years ago when I used to compete horses. I could not get life insurance. I used to event. Anyone that knows horses and knows eventers, and you're galloping horses at solid objects. So in my younger years, I had a little bit of like an edge to me. Not anymore. I'm too old for that. All right. So this is the article that came out. After Deadpool 2 set death, Fox settles with family of stunt person Joi Harris. 20th Century Fox has settled out of court with the family of Joi Harris, a motorcycle rider who was killed while performing a stunt on the Vancouver set of Deadpool 2 in 2017. I just find this article interesting. I'm going to read it. I can't stop myself from doing commentary as we go, but I will read it. And I just want to hear your opinions as well. 20th Century Fox has settled out of court with the family of Joi Harris, a motorcycle rider. Whoa, geez. I did not mean to do that. Who was killed while performing a stunt on the Vancouver set of Deadpool 2. The amount of settlement was not disclosed. Michael Buckley, a Florida-based attorney who represented Harris relatives, said the studio was very accommodating in its dealing with the family. That just never really sat well with me. The words used there. There was a whole issue of stunt driver safety, and the fact is the people at Fox were extremely concerned about that, and it drove their decision-making, Buckley said, or Buckley told the Hollywood Reporter, adding, they dealt with this very reasonably. So I'm guessing they got a good settlement. It just, hello. I love the name Khaleesi. It just, I don't know. You guys let me know in the chat. Am I being like too over it? But it just seems kind of, well, do we remember Nick Shapiro? Right? It just gives me the feel of making things go away. Blank check, make things go away. And also I see the families, like I'm certainly, and please do not take this as me slighting the family at all. I cannot even imagine, like, how do you go up against heavy hitters like this? How do you bring them to court? It's just such a horrific situation to be in. And not only that, but the heartache and stress and trauma of a lawsuit as well. I feel for her family so much. So please don't take that as me judging them for settling. As not it at all. That's what I'm trying to go for, Mel. Yeah, accommodating is the least you can be in a situation like that, especially when it's proven that there are multiple high-risk safety issues. Another source with knowledge of the settlement confirmed that the matter had been successfully resolved. Several members of the stunt community said they were pleased with the news, though saddened by the memory of Harris's death. I think Joy's family deserves a large settlement, but how do you put a price on your daughter's head? And that too, says Melissa Stubbs, a professional stunt performer. No money in the world is worth what happened. Her death was senseless and could have been avoided. I'm glad the family got something, said another stunt performer. This should have never happened. Agreed. Harris was killed in August 2017 while performing a stunt that involved riding a high-powered Ducati motorcycle down a ramp laid atop a set of stairs. According to several people who had been working with her on the days leading up to the stunt, Harris was not properly prepared for the stunt. I just... And we're going to talk about Morena too, because it was from the same movie. Same movie. When it came time to do the scene, Harris rode the motorcycle down the stairs, but then lost control. The bike, which Harris still clung to, careened across the street and hurled her into a building, killing her instantly. Initially, Fox's insurer in the matter, Chubb, had indicated it would fight the family on every front. What? Okay, I missed that part originally. What? Initially, Fox's insurer in the matter, Chubb, had indicated it would fight the family on every front. I don't even know what to say. It wasn't the Hollywood Reporter I originally saw this on. So this is a new article I had pulled up for today with you guys. So I am reading that part in real time with you. Buckley said he received an offensive letter from Chubb in which the firm staked out every defense under the sun. Buckley said they said they were going to fight every single thing. Wow. Yikes is right. Mama Sleuth reporting for duty. I love it. I was asked if dog mom sleuths are okay. And I was like, well, obviously, because I am. And they used my name in the Mommy Sleuths article. So we got the glamour approval. She had no emergency cutoff for the bike. Oh my gosh. Can you expand on that for me? Because I'm just thinking, for me, it just makes me think, and I could be completely wrong. Because I've never ridden a motorcycle. Like if I fall off my horse, unless my foot gets caught in the stirrup and I'm dragged, I'm off. Like I'm clear. And especially as a kid, you learn how to like tuck and roll so you're not getting trampled. So if you have a second, that'd be awesome. I'd love to learn a little bit more. How accommodating. Fox's lawyers must have had a checklist for the letter that they sent. Oh, yes. Thank you, my friend. Hit the like, hang out, guys. I know I usually give you guys a lot more notice and we usually go live earlier, but today's, we're going by the seat of our pants today, flying by the seat of our pants. Okay. So there you go. Fox was prepared to fight them on every front. Now I want to see if I can find out more on that. Because the original article I pulled up, I just realized I pulled up the Hollywood Reporter here, was a Canadian newspaper, and they did not have this piece in it. Buckley, in turn, was prepared to go to war with the studio. We were going to sue everybody. Can you imagine the shitstorm in the media if that had leaked at the time? I can't even believe that wasn't bigger news. See, this is my problem with legacy media. This is my problem. Because in 2017, we are still pretty much relying on legacy media. There is no way this would have flown the way it did under the radar today. For stunts, you can have a wireless device to cut the engine if you lose control. Oh, interesting. Okay, thank you so much for clarifying that. She had no kill switch and no helmet, so when she lost control, there was no way to stop the bike. Holy shit. Wow. Thank you for sharing that. Unbelievable. So we are going to sue everybody, Buckley says. Included in his initial list of potential targets were several corporate entities associated with the film, including 20th Century Fox, Marvel, Maximum Effort, the production company owned and run by Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds. So there you go. Ryan Reynolds, Maximum Effort, was originally going to be dragged into it. So you wonder how all these people likely came together to decide how to make this go away. I mean, that's just speculation. But it's very interesting. I wonder if Ryan wrote a letter. Was there a letter involved? So horrible, tragic, and avoidable. Absolutely. This is horrible. So they were going to sue everybody. You know, you really wish that, yeah. And see, if we go back up here, there was a whole issue of stunt driver safety and the fact that people at Foxworth drove their decision making. So that was the official statement then. They were so concerned that drove their decision. That's not what drove their decision making. God, legacy media drives me crazy. That did not drive their decision making. All these people that were going to be dragged into it as well. 20th Century Fox, Marvel, Maximum Effort, Ryan Reynolds through Maximum Effort is likely when they didn't back down. They were like, fine, we'll sue everyone. We're going to sue everyone that was involved in this. You want to go to war? We'll go with you. Wow. Buckley said he was even prepared to go after certain individuals on the crew that he had identified as being potentially culpable. In the end, it wasn't necessary. Buckley got a call from Fox execs who told him they would deal with him directly, essentially cutting Chubb, the insurer, out of the discussion. Well, I'm sure all these people got together and made a executive decision. The funds from the settlement won't be made available to the family until the case moves through the probate court in New York, where Harris lived. They were very reasonable, good people, and it seemed to me that they were well aware of the issue of stunt driver safety and even seemed to be on the cutting edge of it. I don't know. I'm sure this was part of allegedly. But to me, that seems like a statement that, like, okay, if you tell people that, we care about stunt drivers. Buckley says, I was very impressed. Chubb declined to discuss the settlement, saying in a statement, per company policy, we don't discuss who our clients are. 20th Century Fox and its new parent company, Disney, declined to comment. Harris's family also declined to comment, which fair enough. What a mess for them. I don't know how people like this sleep at night. Joy's mom lost the only other person in the world who was there, Buckley said. Her husband died a few years ago. It's a very sad situation. Wow. Well, that had more information than the other article I had pulled up. Money drove their decision making. You got it. And the interesting thing for that is they were trying to fight it on all fronts, but all of the investigating organizations found that the set was culpable, found that there was safety violations. So how do you bring that to court and be like, no, we're going to fight it on every front? But sorry, we have all this proof that it was actually on-set safety violations. How do you fight that? Hello, Lily Mae. It's so nice to see you. Because the fact that they were so kind means the settlement could have been a lot larger if they went forward. That's true. That is a very good point. All right, let's go back to our. So that's unfortunately how it ended there. That's all the information I can find in regards to her and the settlement. In fact, we found out more, but this is the thing that's very interesting to me. This was not the only issue on the set of Deadpool 2. We had spoken about this one briefly. Oh, I want to talk about this first, but we had spoken about this other issue briefly previously in a video, but I wanted to also add it to this because, again, it's just unnecessary risk on the set over and over and over again. So who made this decision? And this is from, I believe, the first Deadpool with Tim Miller when him and Ryan's were butting heads. And there's a lot of articles out saying Deadpool director says he quit because Ryan Reynolds wanted to be in control. It became clear that Ryan Reynolds wanted to be in control of the franchise. And this is not in regards to Deadpool 2 and these issues, but I'm just saying, like, it's interesting that someone quit because they didn't have a say in anything. And so I just wonder who was pushing for certain things on the set. It became clear that Ryan Reynolds wanted to be in control of the franchise. You can work that way as a director quite successfully, but I can't. I don't mind having a debate, but if I can't win, I don't want to play. And who does, especially if you're the director, who does want to constantly debate with someone? Poor Justin Baldoni. I mean, these two, Ryan and Blake, are just insufferable. I don't know how anyone deals with them. So who does want every single creative decision argued with? So I don't blame Tim Miller. So he says, I don't think you can negotiate every creative decision. There's too many to make. So Ryan's the face of the franchise, and he wanted the most important component of that by far. So if he decides he wants to control it, then he's going to control it. And that was Tim Miller. So there's also a statement around creative differences. Ryan apparently had said it was very, very difficult on set, and there were scary fights in post-production process. I just don't understand how Ryan and Blake continuously have all these fights and issues with directors. I don't understand. I feel bad for the family. Also seemed like it was blamed, on her. That's basically what they were going to try and do, is blame it on her. It basically was like, we'll just drag her. Do you really want that? And they're like, yeah, we'll go to war. That's fine. Director gets the final cut. Plantation Barbie and Ken. Yeah. They think they get hello, Rainbow Pickle. Oh my gosh, I love your picture. Yeah. But I just can't wrap my head around the two of them. If Ryan and Blake want so much authorship over things, why don't they create their own things? I mean, we have our playbook, the Trojan Horse playbook that I did an expose on. So for those that are new, make sure you check out the expose I did on them. We also have that interview where Blake says, like, I can't have a blank page. I need to go through and figure out where the holes are in other people's work. Like, girl, just write your own shit. Just go write your own. The two of them need to leave other people's work out of it. It is so bizarre to me. So I just added that because it's just interesting to me. And I'm just going to leave that there because we're all critical thinkers here. And I think everyone can, make their own conclusions as well. All right. I want to talk about this as well. So we've pulled clips from this previously, but we did not specifically look at this situation. This is the same film that the motorcycle accident happened on. And Morena was put in a underwater tank, which she says that she still has nightmares over this. So we're going to play, and I know people get upset when I interrupt. I had someone once was like, you think your opinions are better than Justin Baldoni's? It's like, dude, I literally cannot just play it. I have to interrupt it. So we're going to have to interrupt her. But, let's see what she has to say in regards to this. Such a creep. And then she said she's so excited looking for the treasures. Yeah. Looking for the things you can destroy of other people's work. It's so bizarre to me. All right, we're going to have to find the right spot. I think it's 17. And if this doesn't make you want to watch Smallville, I don't know what will.
Brent, wherever personal care products are sold. Yeah, that I saw some interview and you were talking about, and maybe this is old, but you didn't get really deep into it. But like the stunt that got cut where you're underwater in a chair tied to a chair, like that gave me anxiety just hearing that because I don't like being underwater. In fact, I'd rather be in space alone than underwater alone.
I totally hear that. That was one of the most difficult thing I've ever had to do at work.
Was it traumatic?
Every second of it.
Was it traumatic?
It was. I think about that and I go, like, I can't breathe. And it wasn't even in the film. It made me so mad.
What exactly happened? So they put you under there. You didn't have any kind of.
All right. So for those, has anyone seen Deadpool 2? I saw the first one. But this scene never even made it. So they put her through this traumatic, unnecessary situation for no reason, basically.
It was a giant tank, and it was used for the second film because my character is, spoiler alert, dead. And she's in this ethereal universe. And so they were going to try to take our movements underwater and make it look like we weren't underwater.
The interesting thing with this as well is she does not look impressed with Ryan or the fact that her character dies at all. I feel like this interview is one that's it shows a lot more of how she actually feels.
I think there's a Green Day music video like this where like like the hair starts to float, and my boobs were like up to here, which is one of the reasons why it really didn't work, because I'm in a tank top and like my boobs are here, everything floats. So we trained to be underwater doing dialogue, and they sunk the entire apartment in a tank underwater. And we had to be not restrained, but weighed down so that I could sit in a chair because you float.
Okay, now I'm just having a moment. Wasn't there another movie? Oh, is it Now You See Me, where this happened and she was like chained down? Oh, what is that movie's name? I think Now You See Me or something like that. The magician one. I think this happened on that set as well. Apparently, allegedly, Ryan Reynolds is the one who pushed for no helmet for the type of bike on set. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, Tim Miller did say that he left because only Ryan was allowed to make decisions.
And it had to be deep enough where you could get lights and cameras and things in there. And the director spoke to us through like a speaker underwater, and I had a diver at my feet who was ready to give me oxygen when I needed it. But it wasn't it had a roof, like I was in an apartment. So it had like an escape hatch that you had to swim to find, but it was also really dark, and it was panic inducing. And I really was just the whole time working on like, I can do this. Like, I'm just taking deep breaths. I'm only 10 feet underwater. Like, it's not a big deal, or, it was awful. And every time you go like this and they come and they give you, and I would panic that like, if I don't have enough air left to blow out the bubbles and then be able to take a deep breath. If I choke on this thing on 10, 15 feet underwater, that's a long way up to.
And the wild part is they did not even use this. And she seems upset over that as well. Where she's like, they didn't even use it. Like, I went through all that for nothing. She was scared. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Now you see me, now you don't. Yes, it was that underwater scene. And I think they actually used the footage of her trapped and panicking in the final movie from what I've read, which is just wild. The opening credits of Deadpool 2 poke fun at her character being dead and that Ryan doesn't like sharing the spotlight. And then now it's coming out that Sharon Stone apparently was supposed to be in Another Simple Favor and then was taken out. I saw her comment, and I think it was E! News responding to her on that. I honestly think these two just can't handle. I thought Morena was the best part of Deadpool, the first Deadpool. She stole the show. So maybe that is the issue they had with her.
Like, be choking,
Yeah, I had the same thing. On the pilot of Smallville, I thought they'd fire me. I was in a 12-foot tank, and listen to this: they put me in a like the Porsche that Clark rescues me from, and I'm in there, and they put weights on me, and I could hear the director, and it's this murky water. It's supposed to be a lake, and I'd be like, "No, get me out, no!" And I freak out, and I go up to the top, and like the third time, I go, "Tom, they're gonna fire me. I can't do this. I can't do this. I can't. This is, I'm."
Also, Smallville, one of my favorites.
Having flashbacks. It was just,
it's awful.
I finally got it, and it worked, but it was absolutely terrifying.
It's horrible.
Yeah, and I didn't have to really have my eyes open. Your eyes had to be open.
So that was the other thing I think that made.
So we'll just pause there so we don't get in trouble. Sharon Stone is a fabulous actress. I agree. Somebody save me. Yes. They screwed up by not putting Sharon Stone in it. She's amazing. Yes, absolutely.
It worse was we were talking to each other. We couldn't have bubbles coming out because it was supposed to not look like we were underwater. So we had to you have to release a little air, clear all the bubbles from your face, make sure you can open your mouth and talk without a bubble coming out, do the dialogue scene, and hang out there and wait, take a breath and do it all over again, and have your eyes open. As I could barely see him. What they didn't anticipate was that
is why. This was when, 2017? Did we not have CGI back then? Like, it just seems, that's the Smallville theme. I singing it in my head. You guys, I sang to you guys on my first video I dropped this morning. You don't want me to sing again. It just came out. Oh man, now I have it in my head.
There's particles and things in the pillows that were attached to the couch, the wood credenza, whatever the fuck, like things it started to float into the water. And both Ryan and I got really severe eye infections.
Are you serious?
we couldn't open our eyes for like 2 days.
Did they have
after
to
that.
like cancel production for 2 days?
Yes.
So it's pretty much like pink eye.
It kind of, but worse. Like it felt like I had razors in my eyeballs. Like I couldn't open my eyes.
Were you miserable, honestly? Like, were you like miserable to be around? You were so miserable.
No, I was like a good sport about it. And then I like cried when I got home.
You did?
Why do so many actresses talk about crying when they get home after working with Ryan? I don't know. Anyway, they go on. She also talks about how Ryan was constantly improvising in scenes. She says some nice things about him, but as she's saying it, she's kind of doing like a shrug and it doesn't look overly convincing. Those are multiple scenes. And why take the risk? That's what I don't understand. Why take the risk when we have CGI when they probably, I don't know the magic of cinema behind the scenes, but I imagine you could make her look like she's floating without putting her underwater. It's so wild to me. And then it's not in the movie and then she's alone on the red carpet. That's a good point too. What a pile of shit. Yes. That's a good point too. Then they just leave her alone. You sing good. Sorry, I gotta be careful when I use voice text. I love it. Yeah, that's a good point. That then they just leave her. And it's funny because people had mentioned it at the time, but now that you see again that playbook that Ryan and Blake have, I still want to know the full story about what went on with Morena, but I'm sure we'll probably never really know the full story. And again, like, who had control over all of these decisions? Ryan wasn't just the lead actor, he was also a producer. So we have proof that he wanted all this major creative control over the movie, that he had influence over decision making. Tim Miller literally said that he was not on Deadpool 2 because Ryan wanted the creative control over it and he wasn't going to fight him over everything. So I don't know how much control he had if the director left because he didn't want to fight over every creative question. I don't know. What do you guys think? It's just so wild. I can imagine that Morena didn't want the label being difficult. And that's the scary thing too, right? You don't want that label of being difficult. Absolutely. They're talentless. Both cannot act. She always plays herself. He always plays a sarcastic AH. Meant to be funny. Yep. They can't create their own work. Yep. It's so wild. Well, that's what I had for you guys today. And I just don't even know what to say because that Hollywood Reporter piece over the insurance company willing to like basically drag them to avoid paying out is just absolutely wild to me. It's absolutely wild. I did see, now this is just rumors, so I'm not going to go into it at this point in time. There are some rumors going around that potentially one of Blake Lively's lawyers quit, but I'm not going until I have proof of it. But you guys might see that going around online today. There's not really much in the news front other than Blake baking cookies again with her husband and kids. They're going for like the full rebrand over at Team Lively and Reynolds. The full rebrand. Like, we're not Met Gala darlings. We are just like you. I swear, pinky swear. And I don't know. I want to be hopeful for Hugh to talk to Ryan. Justin shut down the set and cried to Blake. Ryan seems to have the same effect. Exactly. I don't understand. They just leave like a wake of destruction behind them. Oh, hey, Mel. I almost missed the live. I know. I know. That's been a problem with my channel is ever since we started talking about Black Box, there's not really many notifications going around. People are getting unsubscribed from my channel. It's been, as Tug would say from That Umbrella Guy, good times indeed. I would say that all the time in my head. Good times indeed. Blake can make cookies, won an achievement. Yeah. They are going for a full-blown rebrand. And then Taylor, interestingly enough, is kind of going back to the old days of like, no, not pictures, not the pap walk, right? which now her fans are feeling bad because apparently she can't even go out with her boyfriend for a meal without people sneaking pictures. I mean, I would assume if someone got that close to her, they were there. They were known to be there to get pictures. But it's very interesting to see her taking another approach as well, Taylor Swift, where she's not doing the flashy pap walks into restaurants. She's going in the back door, being a little bit more quiet. So they're both taking more of a quiet approach, both of them, which doesn't surprise me with everything that's going on. Let me check. Let's see if there's any news before I let you guys go. I'll do a quick check. Oh, and apparently there's a new documentary. Tonight, maybe? Oh man, my mouse just died. Damn it. Wait, what? 40 minutes ago? Okay, I had this literally just went up 40 minutes ago, so I have not read this. I do not want notifications from you, US Weekly. Oh my gosh, my mouse. Justin Baldoni's lawyer reacts to predictions that actor and Blake Lively will settle before trial. So this is just 40 minutes ago. Interesting. How do you guys feel about that? I know there's a lot of feelings around the potential of settling. Justin Baldoni's attorney, Brian Freeman, is responding to predictions that his client's legal battle with Blake Lively will be settled before trial. While appearing on the March 12th episode of the Town podcast, apparently I need to listen to this podcast, host and former lawyer Matthew Bellani asked Freeman how long the case can go on for. So Bellani says, I apologize if I'm pronouncing your name wrong. I do not believe there will be a trial in this case. He's a founding member of the Puck newsletter. Okay. I just think that the potential for the circus and the damage to both sides here will ultimately win out and you guys will settle. So if that's the case, why not just settle now? What is the number? What would it require for this to go away? From Freeman's perspective, he's not sure if circus is the right word to describe the case. Well, no kidding. I think that's so offensive. No one would ever, if it was a woman that was accused of this, no one would ever call it a circus for her defending herself, ever. Ever. You keep referring to it as a circus, and I get it. You see a lot of cases, you see a lot of things, but the reality is this is not a circus when you go through an experience like this, he explained. I've represented a lot of people in the worst moments of their career, the worst moments of their life. Justin has been destroyed by this. Freeman said the allegations are a really serious thing, and it's important for the truth to be revealed. I agree. How do you just settle this? In this day and age, the only way that you can truly get back is to prove your innocence, and that's what we're actively working to do, he shared. That may only be able to be done in a courtroom. Baldoni's life has been put under the microscope ever since Lively 37 filed a legal complaint against him in December 2024, accusing him of SH. During the filming of their movie, It Ends With Us, the actress also claimed that Baldoni 41 attempted to launch a smear campaign against her. Baldoni denied Lively's allegations. We all know this. Before Baldoni and Lively's trial is expected to begin in May 2026, Baldoni's team launched a website. We know this as well, lawsuitinfo.com. The website is actually an accumulation of public pleadings that are publicly accessible, and they have been filed and they are easily accessible, Freeman shared with Bellani. It's a place where you can find things. Yeah. Freeman supported the website after the New York Times broke the news that Lively was planning to sue Baldoni. All right, well, this kind of seems like a nothing burger. Seems like a little bit of a misleading headline. The minute the New York Times story came out, Justin was done for all intents and purposes, Freeman claimed. The court of public opinion was against him. There was no side that he had in this. There were no facts that were on his side. It was really important to come out with real, true facts. So, yeah, I don't know if the headlines a little bit clickbaity. I mean, it worked. I clicked on it. So good on you, yet US Weekly. I clicked on it. I mean, he's okay, sure. He said that may only be able to be done in a courtroom. So I suppose it's not a lie that he is leaving room open for a settlement before trial. I suppose we could leave room open for that. I want to get 400 million, all of it too. Absolutely. Yep, the interview I think it said was the 12th. But this is just from today, a headline from today. After all the evidence comes out. Yeah, I don't think he can. Legacy me reporting on social media interviews. You gotta love legacy media. It's when it works for them, it's fine. So yeah, that seems like kind of a nothing burger. It seems like I'm sure. Not that I think they would, but I am sure if Blake and Ryan were like, look, we will, but then the complicated piece of this, it's not just Justin settling, it's everyone else involved that also has to be on board with that. I don't know how you get everyone on board with that. But I guess, yeah, you could argue there's the door open here for if there was a world where Blake and Ryan came out and they admitted that, they came in with the intent of stealing this movie and they made up the allegations and they pushed out people they didn't like. And she did, she lied about the 17-point or 30-point list and she, lied to get her way and they admitted to everything and they paid 400 million. I don't think Friedman would be like, no, we got to go to court. They probably would settle, honestly, because if they admitted to everything, but then my concern with that, I'm not a lawyer. So if there's any lawyers watching, leave a comment, let me know. But what happens from the perspective of like, if you admit to all that and you're admitting to like extortion and all kinds of other stuff and blackmail, does that open you up to, I don't know, to criminal charges? I imagine, to me, I think they should already be getting the criminal charges, to be honest. But that world is very far away. I agree. I think they would rather go down in flames in court because I feel like they can still spin it to their benefit from a PR perspective. Like, so social media creators, the mommy sleuths, like they tainted a jury. It's because of all the coverage that we couldn't get a fair trial. So they can still spin it in in Glamour magazine and all these legacy media articles. So I honestly think they would rather that, even if they lose in court, and continue to spin it and continue to play their narrative out than just admit it. Shoot, Blake won't get through the depositions. To be a fly on the wall. To be a fly on the wall would be wild. Blake's life is a circus. I would agree to that. Yeah. I would agree to that too, right? Be like, yeah, sure, it is. If she's a circus, for sure. And she tries to bring everyone else into it, absolutely. I agree to that. That's so interesting. A little bit clickbaity, but that's okay, US Weekly. I'll let you get away with it this time. That's all right. It worked, though. Good on you. So it looks like there's a new documentary. Yeah. So she's hanging out with her kids again. Very rare family update. All we're getting are family updates lately. They're at home baking cookies right now. The family that bakes together stays sick on buttercream together. Okay, I need to redo that. The family that bakes together, ... stays sick on buttercream together. Gossip Girl actress Blake captioned a photo of her baked goods on her Instagram stories. The cupcakes had been decorated with brown, white, and green buttercream icing to create cute farmyard animal faces such as horses and pigs. Okay, those are cute. Did she actually make those though? Because if she did, that's a lot better than me. I have to give her some credit. It is a lot better than me. I also got to appreciate someone that knows the difference between like a paint horse, a star, a blaze. However, I mean, they are pretty cute. The following photos show the family also branch out to cookies, which were similarly shaped into horses with flowing manes made of sugary icing. Did they actually make these or were these purchased? Ryan's Deadpool and Wolverine. Why is Hugh Jackman brought into every single conversation about them? Previous comments suggest Blake's latest photos are an accurate representation of the normal home life behind closed doors. Although Taylor uses this a lot. I'm going to back up for 1 second. Taylor, when she is, and I'm sure she bakes at home. However, have you noticed that when there's any kind of like around Taylor online, there's always pictures or articles about her baking? I mean, it's true. And she might bake, and she's probably fantastic at baking. I'm not saying Taylor doesn't bake, but it's just like whenever you find out stuff like this, it's intentional, right? Like if you know that Taylor baked cinnamon buns for someone, it's intentional. If she baked cookies for someone, it's intentional. Blake and Ryan aren't putting this in their stories for no other reason other than knowing, like, as part of a PR campaign. This is like part 2 of their PR strategy, which is like, one, we're taking out the content creators. And within this new phase, you guys are normal. You're like everyone else. You're baking cookies. Oh, so this is Hugh talking. Hugh, I think this is from the Vogue magazine shoot that we talked about yesterday. These are like old school megawatt stars. And of course, how is she a megawatt star? I don't know. But anyway. And of course, I've spent many hours with them, like in pajamas, just hanging out in their house and with their 900 children and dogs. And it's just as normal as can be. Blake will be baking and cooking and saying, let's make pizza. And the next thing you turn around, he told Vogue, describing her changing into an event. And there she is, this incredible star. That's what I mean, though. Taylor and Blake, the MO now for Blake too now is, if there's controversy, bake. If there's controversy, get a story out that you are baking. The family that bakes together, stews together, literally. Blake bakes cookies and lies. Oh, imagine an episode with Megan and Blake attacking each other, pulling, oh my gosh. Bakegate. This is wild. But once you start to pick up on this, and again, I'm not saying that Blake doesn't bake. I'm not saying that Taylor doesn't, but when stories are planted, we're just like you. Now, that was not Blake's brand up until this point. Blake, if you're looking at like branding psychology, she would have been built off the brand archetype of the ruler, essentially. Taylor's brand archetype was built off the every woman brand archetype. So when you're looking at building brands, you build them off of like archetypal psychology. And every really great brand has been built off of archetypal psychology. And so Blake's brand was very much the ruler. It's not impossible to flip brand archetypes, but it's usually not successful because people see it for what it is. I think Old Spice was the only one in recent memory that I did a case study on that successfully flipped the brand archetype and it worked for them. It is very difficult for a personal brand, which is essentially what Blake is, to flip your brand archetype because people are going to see it for what it is. They're going to see it as you trying to be fake, you trying to game the system, to game people and be like, no, that didn't work for me. Being the ruler didn't work for me. The ruler archetype, being the prima donna, the Met Gala didn't work for me anymore. I need a new archetypal psychology brand. And so, the baking a lot, that home a lot, there's a lot of no makeup pictures with her and Ryan. That would all very much be like the every woman brand archetype. I have never seen someone switch from the ruler archetype, not saying it's never been done, but off the top of my head, I've never seen someone switch from like the ruler brand archetype to the every woman brand archetype. And brand archetypes don't have to be based on who you are, right? If someone is able to, I would never be able to create that kind of persona and keep it up for that kind of time. But it's very possible that someone, for example, sees a need in the market of the every woman in music and creates a brand archetype around that. But anyway, that's what she's doing. If anyone wants to know the branding and marketing behind what she's doing, is she's trying to flip the archetype that her brand's based on. But you need brand consistency. So a lot of the no makeup, the baking, all of that goes right into the every woman brand archetype. Like, I'm just like you. So we're seeing a huge push of that in her content recently. Wait, what? Ryan had also know that he and his wife, who he married in 2012, are keen to give their kids as normal a life as possible despite their stardom. I try not to impose upon them the differences in their childhood to my childhood or my wife's childhood. We both grew up in working class families. And I remember when they were very young, I used to say, sorry, I'm thinking in my head, working class families. Isn't Blake's family linked to Hollywood? Call me crazy, but I'm pretty sure her family's linked to Hollywood, isn't it? I don't know if I would call that working class family. I don't know. Maybe but I mean, if that's what they're really doing and want their kids to be raised normally, I mean, good for them as well, because I don't think Hollywood's a place for any kids, honestly. These children might be cast. I don't trust opossum eyes, Ryan. Oh my gosh, oh no, I didn't put it on Instagram. I was gonna say, do you follow me on? You do, yeah, you are on my Instagram because I think we chatted in DMs. So funny you mentioned possums. Real life possums are so cute. Did I post it on Instagram how I was out at the chicken coops and I thought it was one of the cats out of the corner of my eye? And so I'm just like walking, bringing snacks to the chickens, and I just hear, and I pause. I'm like, oh my gosh, a cat went and hissed at me. And I look out of the corner of my eyes and like this little scrawny, she just like, wait, have a horrible winter possum sitting there. And I screamed and ran. But anyway, she was very sweet. But yes, they do have beady eyes. That's for sure. Is it just me or bragging about baking cookies a bit lame? It's like, it's a little bit try hard in my opinion. I don't bake. I can't bake to save my life. I get baked goods from the local bakery, but I cannot bake to save my life. No. But also my brand archetype is not the every woman. So I'm not pretending that I can do that either. All right, let's see what else is going on. If there's any other news updates, it'll be as soon as I log off. I don't have anything to do immediately, so we might as well just see if there's anything else. I like hanging out with you guys live, so. Yeah, possums are so cute. But yeah. Growing up in a penthouse in New York City, so normal, working class, because her family isn't the 1%. Yeah, that's probably what they see working class as. Hello, late to the upkeep. Hello, banana bread. Oh, now I want banana bread. Oh my gosh, now all I want are baked goods. And okay, we're so in the middle of nowhere that you can't get anything on a Monday. Everything's closed on Monday, so I'm just gonna have to deal. This bothers me. Blake Lively lands major court win. They're still running with that. Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, smile and self. See, so this keeps coming up over and over and over again. See, we're just like you. So I guess this was more selfies that they're putting out. Shared snaps via her Instagram story on Sunday of cupcakes and sugar cookies that the Deadpool star and their 4 children made together. And then they put that picture. Go away, ads. Damn it. Yeah, so it's just repeating the exact same things. It was all put out for PR. Anyway, guys, it doesn't seem like there's like big news today in the land of Blake and Justin other than this, which is obviously, yeah, again, PR. Oh, let's see this before you guys go. Blake Lively's Another Simple Favor almost starred Sharon Stone. Star says she was let go for no reason. Sharon Stone is spilling the tea. I feel like there's going to be a lot of tea spilled. From what's been told to me, apparently there are a lot of people in Hollywood that want to speak out, but they are holding off until the court case is done. I don't know your guys' feelings about that. I mean, I can kind of see the fear of getting involved in all of it, but Blake Lively also gives cool girl. Where did Jennifer Lawrence end up with that archetype? Yeah. Now, it's funny. I have so much to say. Stay on track, Ashley. I follow Sharon Stone for this. Like, I am here for it. I am here for the tea. I'm here for the gossip. All right, let's see if they have any new information. In the comment section of a recent episode, oh, is that where it was? Of E! News show Hot Goss, which was posted on Instagram. Hosts Isle Booker and Lonnie Martz. I always feel horrible saying people's names because I know I am literally butchering it. Discussed the rumored feud between Anna Kendrick and Blake Lively on set of Another Simple Favor. Stone took this opportunity to reveal she was offered a role in the film, but was unexpectedly let go from the project. She says, I loved being cast and removed from my role unexpectedly for no reason at all. Loved it, capital loved, capitalized loved. The 67-year-old actress wrote in the comments section. Fans of the Basic Instinct star reply in the comments with words of support. One fan wrote, what? Who does that to a legend like you? Another added, not the Sharon Stone. That was a huge mistake. Wow. A third chimed in with, what? Someone was for sure threatened by your icon status. It's like, it seems like Blake and Ryan just get rid of anyone that might be more popular than them. Why are there just so many problems following them everywhere? Like, I don't hear constant, hi, Tundra. Do you want to say hi? Come here. Do you want to say hi? Yes. Oh, my angel. Because we're mommy sleuths here. Oh. What do you want to say? Want to say hi? Hi, baby. You're a good boy. Oh, thank you for the kisses. Yeah. Mommy sleuths, dog mommy sleuths. Oh, and the people are going to love it that have nervous breakdowns over dog hair on my clothes. We're going to be covered in dog hair now. You sleepy still? He sleeps at my feet while I work. Hi, Julia. Do you want to come say hi, sweetheart? Do you want to say hi, kid? No, you're not feeling the vibe of saying hi today, are you? You're kind of my prima donna. Do you want to come say hi? Oh, there we go. Oh, good girl. Good girl. Yes, you're a good girl. Okay. You can't have my hat. Okay. You can't have my hat, nerds. I'm almost done. Okay. Let me finish up. Go see your dad. I know. There you go, sweethearts. Go see your daddy, baby. All right. Sorry, guys. That mommy sleuth on duty, you know. Wearing my kitten and puppy mommy sleuth badge with pride. I love it. I love that so much. I love it. All right. Where were we? I got distracted by my dogs. When I left corporate, as a little aside, my whole motivation for leaving corporate was just to spend more time with my dogs, more time with my family too, primarily my dogs. All right. So this was the first time news of Stone's potential involvement in the movie was revealed to the public, and the Oscar-nominated actress did not elaborate on what her role in the movie would have been. I wonder. The highly anticipated sequel, was it highly anticipated though? To the successful 2018 dark comedy A Simple Favor, which also starred Lively and Kendrick, has faced its fair share of controversy due to the dueling lawsuits. Poor Anna, look at her face. Oh. Anyone that's been forced to stand next or by someone they can't stand understands that face. You're a mommy sleuth. I am. Well, clearly, I got the badge of honor from Glamour. Can't remember the name of it. Lively filed the lawsuit. Okay, we know about that. And then, of course, Paul Feig. Yeah, you're wrong. To Melanie King. Oh my gosh, I love that she's still being featured for that comment. Paul Feig and his wife just can't stay out of the chat. Anyway, so it looks like there's no new news. Someone needs to get the scoop from Sharon, though. I love that Melanie King is still making the rounds. Good on her. I love Melanie King. She's fantastic and hilarious. Okay, well, that looks like that's it. It doesn't look like we have any more news for that. Yeah, and I think the only other thing I can see today is Taylor Swift out with her boyfriend. There's not much going on. And Justin's laying low. I honestly think that's what Blake and Ryan should have done, is just lay low. But they just can't help themselves. Have a good Monday. It was so nice to see you, Rainbow Pickle. Thank you for joining us. No helmet because CGI is too expensive. So someone's life is apparently worth it. It's just wild. I really want Anna and Blake to fight. I I just, I want to know what's going on. I want to know. Can we all agree glamour writer destroyed herself in one day? Yeah. I know, you guys, I dropped a live on you at the complete wrong time of day, and I gave you like 5 minutes, which, I mean, YouTube barely gives you guys a heads up anyway for my channel anymore. That's my bad, my friends. Yeah, so 2 days ago, just Taylor out. Why does it not look like either of them? I know that's kind of conspiracy theory, but it doesn't look like either of them in those pictures. Details of Taylor Swift's rich girl energy outfit for Travis Kelce night out revealed. Fans concerned by out of character Travis Kelce date night. I did read this one earlier, and it's really just, I don't know where they get the out of character. I think it's just clickbait, to be honest. All they're talking about here is that, fans are upset because she apparently can't even go out for dinner with her boyfriend without being having pictures taken of her. But I feel like with how highly controlled, see, this is my theory on this. I can be wrong, and I will admit that this is just my theory. It reminds me of that situation with her going to Blake's penthouse. And I had people from the industry reach out, and they were just like, Taylor doesn't just show up somewhere where they don't know who's around. Why? That is a huge security threat if someone's that close to her. If they can get that clear a shot of the back of her, what other shots can they get from the back? Oh, CGI is too expensive per ride. That wouldn't even surprise me. 5:40 a.m. in Sydney. Well, finally, I have a later in the day live for my Australian friends. I always feel bad. I have Australian clients as well, and it's either I'm staying up late or they're getting up early. It's so tough. But you know what I mean? When I see pictures like this, and to me, it just doesn't feel like someone snuck a picture. Unless it was someone on her team and they knew because it was someone on her team. But you don't let someone that has such a high security risk factor involved with them with someone that can take a picture like that without her being protected. Like what good is her bodyguard here if someone can see straight on? And Travis, like, I know it's really morbid, but the end, like, it's true. That's a huge security risk to be able to have that shot of them. So I just don't feel, it's my opinion, that she's walking into a penthouse where she has no idea who's there. She has no idea that a meeting is or is not happening. And I don't believe that she's walking through places like this completely exposed. I just find it so hard to believe because I really believe, like, and I know very little about Taylor, admittedly, in terms of like her art, who she is. But I do know that she's had issues with stalkers and crazy stalkers. You don't want that kind of. Oh, well, then there you go. There's a blind item. Taylor asks her staff to create news every week. That doesn't surprise me. So that goes into what I was just saying, that I could see it having been a staffer getting that picture for sure. But so anyway, her fans are upset. It irks them because people just can't leave them be. But this is the interesting thing with this type of PR as well, right? So I wasn't in PR itself. I've been branding and marketing, but I work with a lot of PR. Well, I'm slowly moving out of that field because it is just a field. It's a lot I could say. But anyway, the thing with this is not only are you getting pictures out of her with her boyfriend, they're very normal. They're like you. They're just trying to go out for a dinner together. But it also riles up the Swifties. So you get like 2 for 1 because you rile up the Swifties because now the Swifties are pissed off because they're like, just leave her be. We don't have to post her every move. That's the thing that I've always said is if you're seeing Taylor, she wants to be seen. There's a lot, like there's no way she just sits in a house 24/7. So if she's wanting to be seen, stop it. Looks like she's hiding. I think that's part of the picture though. Someone says best marketing Del Frisco's could have ever imagined. I'm assuming that's the restaurant they went to. The menu prices range from $10 to $85 for signature steaks. I mean, good on them. You don't always have to go to the most expensive place. But yeah, I mean, that just concerns me. I can't imagine her security team is this sloppy. And if they are, I think she needs a new security team. If they are legit this sloppy, she needs a new security team. So those are all the pictures. That's a lot of time for a threat. And that's ultimately why she has a security team with her 24/7, to reduce threats of some crazy person not having a camera, but having something else. And that's a real reality. I couldn't live with that. Taylor's whole life is fake. I think, and I've said this for a long time, even when I was just in branding and marketing, for a very long time, spoke about Taylor in terms of branding. And I think there's actually some older videos that are still up on this channel from when this used to be just branding and marketing way back in the day. She is a genius in branding and marketing, her Easter eggs, her sales psychology. She is a genius. She has it on lock. Which is why it's very hard for me to believe that anytime you see her, it's not part of the overall branding and PR to maintain the brand. But yeah. Hello. I know it's a weird time for me. I've gone live. I'm sorry you missed the beginning. Now we're just hanging out talking about news that's been coming up in the last couple days. We're just hanging out because I like hanging out with you guys. But yeah, we called this. We said that you're probably going to see a lot more of just like and I didn't say this in terms of Blake, I don't think, but for Taylor for sure. Like, I'm just like you. But that's always been her brand as well, the every woman. All right. Well, that's the news day for that, my friends. It's a slow news day. But anyway, I just want to come out and hang out with you guys, say hello. I've been asked so much about talking about Joi Harris and the Morena Baccarin issue with the submersion in Deadpool 2 issues. So I was like, why not come live and chat with you guys? I didn't have any calls today. In fact, I've been cutting back on calls because I want to hang out with you guys more and create content. I love this channel. I love you guys. Taylor's going to be 40 soon. Won't be relevant to teenagers. So grabbing what she can now. It's, and that's the tricky thing with her brand. It's a tricky thing is navigating it. Is navigating, does she keep speaking to, and I know there's older, like I have some friends that are big time Swifties. They kind of grew up with her more or less from the beginning. It's tough, but it's also, when you look at the sales psychology of her brand, it's also difficult with such a well done sales psychology brand to just walk away from it. It reminds me of branding coaches along the way that I've learned from, or like experts I've learned from. And they talk about like a raving cult following, like creating a raving cult. And that's kind of what she's done. I actually have a video plan to talk about the sales psychology and the psychology aspect of her brand that she's built. And I don't say that in terms of like a slight against her, because I think she is a genius in branding. And I also think, and from my perspective with all this, why I like talking about it is when you understand the media and you understand branding, you can then make informed decisions. It doesn't mean now all of a sudden the person's a horrible person and you shouldn't listen to their music and they suck and they're a con artist. You can make up your mind in regards to that, right? But then when we understand what goes into building the brand, and even she leans into the IKEA effect a lot within her brand. It's a big piece of it, especially through like pulling in these Easter eggs, and you're kind of building it with her and creating these worlds with her. From a psychology perspective, it's very tough. And then you get very much what we see in terms of the Swifties on X of like, she's not forcing me to buy 35 versions of the same album. I'm doing that from my own free will. And it's like, well, it's a little bit more complicated than that. Really? But does it mean you're wrong for buying the albums? Well, no. But if we understand the psychology behind it, then you can make informed decisions. Like and subscribe. Yes. Saging real quick. I know. I have so many crystals. This is like my favorite crystal. Oh God, I'm going to knock everything down as I pull this over. It's a dragon. Oh my gosh, I just realized I put a dragon. This is my dragon to keep the dragons away. That's so funny. It just kind of dawned on me. Her parents are the geniuses, not her. Well, yeah, they definitely, I'm sure they taught her a lot as well. Aiding in the Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds behind the scene. Her mom probably knows all the PR tricks, is well connected. Yes, so exactly. Her parents definitely are. I miss your tarot cards. We have to get back to some of the old school content. Things just got like so swept away with all of this stuff, and everyone kept wanting to understand the branding and marketing behind it even more. I'm like, sure, I can talk on that. But I actually, Mel, funny that you mentioned that. Someone had a couple someones have asked me to do a human design and astrology reading for Joe Alwyn. And I had one years ago when they first broke up. But again, I deleted everything off my channel in I think it was mid last year. So it's gone. But I can also do a tarot pull for that. And then if, anyone's like, oh, it's not for me, you don't have to watch it. But we can definitely do that. A dragon crystal. I know. Does anyone else have crystals? I have like a bunch up. I have a horse one over there. I have more dragon ones over to the side. I'm a big fan of dragons. Yes, tarot. All right, we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. We can do a stream. We'll see how tomorrow. I'll either do it pre-recorded or a stream tomorrow, but I've had a lot of requests in regards to Joe Alwyn. And, one of the ways I described him, and I think it was like, well, when have Tortured Poets come out? I can't remember when Tortured Poets Department, because I don't follow Swift that much, but I described him as a tortured poet. And then that whole thing came out. Not saying it's about him. I haven't listened to the Tortured Poets Department, although there are a couple songs. I can do it with a broken heart. Whenever I'm in having a rough day, I'm not going to lie. Hey, I can admit it, guys. I stream some Taylor songs, and that song is such a badass song to stream when I'm having just like a shit day. The human design you did on Blake, Ryan Taylor and Baldoni was interesting. You said you never seen charts like that. Yeah, their charts are very interesting together. Lots of crystals, lots of tarot and oracle cards here. I love you guys. You guys are my people. My bookshelf, one whole shelf of it is tarot and oracle cards. We'll see how today's going. Maybe I'll come back today. We'll see. We'll play with it. But I promise you guys we'll do some more of that. We'll have some fun. We've been so serious in the media manipulation and narrative control that we haven't had fun on this channel in a while and just like let loose and relax. I kept getting asked to speak on it. I was like, sure, I could totally speak on that. Have you heard of heart math? Yes, I have a couple clients that actually have been involved in I don't know much about it, but heart math. And then I have horses. One of my good friends, she does something with the horses and clients in heart math, but I don't know a ton about it. I'll admit that. I love to see, do you do heart math? Is that something that you've learned, my friend? I'd love to see Joel Alwyn chart though. Yeah. His chart is very open. Like I would say very similar to Justin Baldoni in the sense of like very spiritual, intuitive, creative, like definitely the poet, 100% the poet. And then we saw him just get like dragged with like the whole Taylor Swift thing. I feel bad for him. I feel really bad for him. I started watching your tarot and was pleasantly surprised when you started this kind of stuff too. I'm so glad. See, you guys are my people where you can appreciate all of it. And I think that's really what I want this channel to be about. I have such a varied background. For those that know human design, I'm a traditional 6-line where it's like trial and error. I started out in counseling, saw the benefits of fitness with mental health. So I got my personal training certificates and holistic nutrition and all of that stuff. Astrology has been my first love from the time I was a kid. So anyway, I have like a crazy background in just so much. So it really is cool that I've attracted just my people that get it. I bought one of their devices, and when you're practicing gratitude, the device shows your breathing relax. I love that. It worked for me with Taylor's song from Folklore. Geez, words are hard sometimes. I have a song for my soul playlist. I love that. That's so good. Yeah, breath work is so important. And breathing in general. That's, oh my gosh, I could go on all day about that. Yes, when I get money, I'm going to do a reading with you. I would be absolutely honored to do a reading with you. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll do more content on that. I have more time. What really happened, guys, was so for those that have been around longer, I had my husky Alaska. Some of you guys know this story, but we have a lot of new friends to the channel. And I think it was only a month and a half, maybe a month. Don't forget to breathe. Yeah. I'm horrible for that. QTEL, ADHD in the house. I don't breathe. So we had, I think, started the channel about a month and a half in, and my husky, not that husky, my other husky, Alaska, got really sick. Anyway, very long story short, he passed away. I took about a week and a half off, 2 weeks off from the channel, came back to the channel, and then it was just like this push for all the media manipulation, and people were really interested to learn more. And for that, on top of the fact that I had taken on a lot of extra clients to help with the bills for Alaska, I ran workshops and just like basically filled my schedule morning to night to pay for all his bills. So I just didn't have the capacity to also be creating extra content. But now I do. My schedule is back to a manageable rate where I have client calls like 2 days a week, not every single day, Monday morning to night, so I can create more content for you guys. Hello, Leo. It's so nice to see you. Oh my goodness. We're just wrapping up, but it's so nice to see you. Now I don't want to leave because, you're here. Like this stream. I love it. You're so kind. Imagine she was from waving her arms as she rambles answers to deposition questions. It would be, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see how all that goes. It's going to be really interesting. I think there's going to be a lot of fighting in regards to what is attorney's eyes only and what's not for Taylor, especially. But Bradley Cooper, Hugh Jackman, like there are a lot of names. This is going to be wild. We need to do like, I don't know, tarot or something for that because it is going to be wild. I'm really glad I made it to your live. I followed from Flossom. Well, welcome. We're a pretty laid back crew here. Like we talk about hardcore media manipulation, astrology, human design. We're super laid back. I love this community for how laid back you guys are. You're just up for everything. You're like, yeah, I'm multidimensional and I enjoy different things and sue me for it. I'm going to do it anyway. I need a tarot on Blake and Ryan's relationship right now and when they will divorce. So we had one on the channel when this all started and we had pulled it saying that they would divorce. I think the timeline was 2 years, but a lot can change in the energy. Have you looked into Rob Liefeld? No. Should I be? I do like doing exposés. Now I feel like, should I Google this person? Who is this? Do you guys, oh my God, I can't even remember his name now to say the joke. I can't even say the joke now because I can't remember the guy's name. Deadpool creator. Oh, okay. Yeah, there we go. No, I'm going to have to look into him. Deadpool related. You guys are like, actually get with the times. I was just thinking about Jake Gyllenhaal and the Reynolds and forgot that he dated Taylor. That's true too. All right. I'm going to look into him then. I shall. I love doing exposés. I'm nosy. I love doing exposés. The cookies are not that impressive. Okay. But you guys haven't seen my cookies. I can't. They're impressive to me. Let's just say they're impressive to me. I cannot bake to save my life. Like cooking and baking to me is putting a frozen pizza in the oven. Farm fam. I love it. Yes, I was late, but I'm going to enjoy this after a few times. No, it's me. It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. I didn't give you guys a heads up and I came on at a weird time for me. Usually I do mornings. They're good for a home baker. Okay, good. That makes me feel a little bit better because yeah, that's what I do. Pillsbury slice and cook and Pop-Tarts. Now I want Pop-Tarts as well. Do you know about some planet alignment soon? I'm going to look it up later. I can pull it up. I don't know about anything off the top of my head, but admittedly, I haven't pulled it up recently to really look at what's going on. I used to work in a bakery. It's hard work. I could never work in a bakery because I would eat everything. I would legit eat everything. Now I want to know what are your favorite baked goods. My favorite is cream puffs from a bakery that's like an hour away. I will drive an hour away to just get cream puffs. They're so good. They're so good. Now we're just hanging out because there's no more news to talk about. Yeah, I don't see anything. Yeah, I still find it hard to believe that that's How do you leave her exposed like that if that is true? Like if they like these pictures should be used for training for her security detail if that is legit. That's just wild. That's why I have such a hard time believing that it wasn't like someone on her staff taking those pictures. Oh, croissants. I love croissants. Michael, he's bringing the boys to the farm and they're like, they're better than yours. I love that. Oh my goodness. I posted a little video with my silkies yesterday on Instagram. If I'm not streaming, I'm hanging out with my silkies. Or the goats. We have goats, rescue sheep, rescue horses. And then we have my fancy chickens as well. My little silkies are so cute. They're like little, I don't know, like cats. They're miniature cats. Do you guys know let me know. Do you know what a silky chicken is? You have to follow me on Instagram, Ashley Brianna Eve. But silky chickens are adorable. They're like little cats. They're not like birds. They can't even fly. But yeah, guys, that's all the news. That's all the news. Oh, so now we have to be concerned here. Secondly, it's pretty out of place for them, Taylor and Travis, not to go into a restaurant through the front, no matter the crowd size, which is usually big when they come to town. Well, yeah, because it's a pap walk. But I think this was also in many respects a pap walk of like, but look, we just want to be normal, which is all PR and marketing. I don't say that as a slight. You got to shake it off. No, but I want to know. I'll show you. I'll pull up silky chickens. I'll just pull them up on Google. They're super cute. But follow me on Instagram because I have depends if I remember my phone, but I put stuff up there too. So this is a silky chicken. They're so freaking cute. They're little fluff balls. They're adorable. So that's your silky. And they don't fly at all. And they're so cuddly. They love to be cuddled. Honestly, you could have them as pets in the house. They're adorable. But anyway, that's a silky chicken. The Nestle sweetened condensed milk cookies with Cadbury dairy milk chocolate chips. Oh my goodness, that sounds delicious. I need to get to a bakery and I can't because everything's closed today. All right, my friends, we're going to end that note today on silky chickens. It is so nice to hang out with you guys. Thank you for hanging out with me. I hope that my ducks loose on the property. I hope that crow's not bothering them. I'm going to have to check it out. Thank you for hanging out with me. It's always so nice to hang out. They look like a Pomeranian. They definitely, yeah, that's a buff one. That's the color. They definitely do. You guys have a beautiful day. As always, it's so wonderful to hang out with you guys. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.